All right, people, this is Thursday. Starting with number 1, we have 1/3 divided by 7. We know that when we divide fractions, first we turn the whole number into a fraction, and then we Kentucky chicken fried. So we keep, change, and flip, which is exactly what this problem was doing for us here. So they're giving us an opportunity. They're setting it up for us to keep this the same. They changed this, and these arrows are reminding us that we need to flip the other. And then we multiply. So 1/21, which equals 1/21, okay? So here we are dividing a whole number by a fraction. Same thing, we're going to keep this the same. This is change, and then we will flip our second fraction, finding the reciprocal, and then multiply as we learned. And then we have 21/1, which equals 21. Number 2, Amy bought 2/3 of a pound of sliced roast beef. She used half of it to make sandwiches. How much roast beef did she use? So, she used 1/2 of 2/3, right? 1/2 of 2/3. So that's 1/2 times 2/3, which equals 2/6, and 2/6 simplify equals 1/3. And that kind of makes sense because half of 2/3 is going to be 1/3 because half of 2 is 1. So she used 1/3. Skipping number 2 on to number 4, we are multiplying mixed numbers, and we know to multiply mixed numbers, we must first convert them into improper fractions and then multiply. So 1 times 2 is 2 plus 1 is 3. Denominator stays the same. 1 times 3 plus 1 is 4. Denominator stays the same, and then we would multiply as we have been taught. So 3 times 4 is 12, and 2 times 3 is 6. And we know that 12 divided by 6 is 2 because 2 times 6 is 12. So doing the same here, 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Denominator stays the same. 1 times 4 is 4, plus 1 is 5. Denominator stays the same. And then we have 7 times 5, which is 35. And 3 times 4, which is 12. And then we need to first one to the party. This to figure out have going on here. And as a reminder for my students who like to use this process, this is absolutely permissible. So my closest number to 35 without going over is going to be 24. So that would be 2. And then 2 times 12 is 24. And then 5 minus 4 is 1. And 3 minus 2 is 1. And so this would be 2 and 11/12. 2 and 11/12. All right, number 5. So number 5, we have 2,670 divided by 10. And so we kind of talked about how this is in essence a pattern, but we're going to do one of these along division way so that you can absolutely see it. So I've got 26 divided by 10 because I can't divide 2 by 10. So 26 divided by 10, that's 2. And 2 times 10 is 20. And 26 minus 20 is 6, and we bring this down, and then 67 divided by 10, that's going to be 6. 6 times 10 is 60. 67 minus 60 is 7. Then we bring this down. And then 70 divided by 10 is 7. And 7 times 10 is 70, and we have zeroed out. So then this would be 267. So what just happened here? Basically, the decimal at the end, the invisible decimal at the end, it moved over 1 time. If we were to do this again, because there are 2 zeros, the decimal would move over 1 2 times. And so then that would be With 3 zeros, the decimal will move to the front. It would decrease 1, 2, 3 times. Okay? Here, we are dividing by a decimal, power of 10, which we have learned is very similar to multiplying. And you'll see what I mean in just a second as I demonstrate this one. So when we divide decimals, we move it. Put my invisible decimal here, move it, raise it to the roof, fill it in with a 0. And now we have 26,700 divided by 1, which is going to be, oops, which is going to be the exact same thing. So what happened here, because we have to move the decimal to the back of the divisor, and then we have to move the decimal to the back of the dividend the same number of times, this number, the answer here is just going to keep growing by zeros. So we would move this divisor the decimal 2 times in the divisor. Therefore, we would have to move the decimal 2 times in the dividend, and we would fill those in with zeros. So same thing here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay? And then last one, number 3, we have order of operations. So we would need to evaluate this expression. So starting with parentheses.
Pardon the interruption. Teachers that need Chromebook training is being held in room 104, starting now.
Okay, so starting with the parentheses, even inside the parentheses, if there's more than one operation, you still have to follow the order of operations. So I see there's addition and there's multiplication. So multiplication comes before addition, so I'm going to multiply this first. Then I'm going to add this, so that's 20. Then I'll drop all of this down, which I really don't have space to do this. All right, let's start over. So I've got 2 plus 6 times 3 divided by 2 plus 13, right? Okay, so starting here, I gotta multiply this first within the parentheses. And we're still in parentheses, and I'm gonna write everything down. And this is all about dropping everything down. Then I'm gonna add. Now I'm done with the parentheses, so I can leave those out. And then from there, I've got division and addition. So when I look over here, division comes before addition, so I'm gonna divide 20 by 2, which is 10. I did that, drop down the sign and the number I didn't work with, and then I'll finally add these together. So the answer to that is 23. And when they say evaluate an expression, what they're telling you to do is solve it.